who could replace Starmer. And what I'm basically saying there, in my sort of autodidact, semi-schooled way, is that they're all going to be crap because the whole thing is done. So we're going to see something new. We're going to see reform and splits with the Greens and so on. But who could replace Starmer? The Telegraph asks. Wes Streeting and Shabana Mahmood among favourites in leadership challenge. Well, we are talking about the nonsense that is party politics. Wes Streeting, net favourability -19, odds 6-1. So Streeting is he's been the centre of this briefing war. Here we go. One source close to Keir's so-called operation, told the Telegraph that the strategy of a warning shot against Mr. Streeting had succeeded, but for others it appears to have backfired. One minister on the moderate wing told the Telegraph Wes is now more popular because he's so self-assured, which is another way of saying a bit of a smug twat. So, Shabana Mahmood is net favourability -20. She's 12-1. It's advertising me some bins here because I bought a bin. This doesn't always work. If it advertises anything like dodgy, they may be random ads as well. Sometimes they're targets, sometimes they're not, and you think, okay,
next row is just a row of crossbows.
Yeah. I'm going on the train next week, so obviously just bought 6 crossbows and a rolled up newspaper. Can't talk about it. So Ed Miliband what? -23, odds 20-1. That's if you really want to just tank the country, accelerationist style. Angela Rayner -32, odds 10-1. I love this.
I'm not surprised by that.
She's back. She's got a memoir. So this is so funny. So she's written a memoir, right? And they say it's just the start for her. The Angela comeback arc will be long, and we wait to see whether it will bend towards justice. By the way, my name for the memoir, Abject Failure, would be a good idea. Oh, apparently shoe care. Well, I've definitely not been looking at shoe care. Anyway, so abject. If any of you remember, she said abstract failure. So it should be called abstract failure. Her bio, she meant abject failure. So I'd call it abstract failure. And by the way, it's not a northern thing. I'm from the north and from a competitive school. You should know the difference between abstract and abject. Anyway, Andy Burnham +2, odds 15-2.
So 15-2 is the equivalent of 7.5-1. So he is second place. You've got Angela Rayner in third and Wes Streeting in first. Laughably, Mahmood's in there. The only reason she's in there is because she has the other senior most role in the cabinet. Miliband is there because, believe it or not, he's held many high positions in UK government across 2 Labour governments, and there aren't many people who can say that because they're usually 15 to 20 years apart, which they were in this case. So it's fascinating, but it's 5 or 6 piles of the same turd, and that's the problem that they've got. Great analogy. I don't know where that came from, but it is essentially 5 or 6 piles of the same turd. Wes Streeting has always struck me as that he is someone who is relatively capable by comparison to his colleagues, and B, on manoeuvres. The other person who's always been on manoeuvres quite clearly is Angela Rayner and Andy Burnham. I have a sneaky suspicion that we haven't seen the back of Rayner, and we could have President Rayner. Oh my God, what did I just say? Prime Minister Rayner.
We'll move to the presidential system. I've moved to the presidential system because I think I'm proper good at it.
Oh man. Intel lady is going to get her career boosted by that for sure. Andy Burnham, look, every time he gets close to being in power, i.e. someone mentions he could be, he then talks. And when he talks, we all go, oh yeah, that's why he became mayor of Manchester.
Basically says, you're right, lad. Why don't we massively increase spending with money we ain't got?
Yeah, and it's just batshit stuff. It's like, have you watched the news? There's this program called The News. You can even have it in your flavour if you like. Tune into the BBC and they'll tell you everything you want to hear. But they will still tell you that what you're trying to do is batshit bonkers. So that's Andy Burnham, and it'll all come down to the Labour. This is going to be the other thing here, of course. This is entirely outside of our control. By our, I mean us constituency voters, the electorate. We have no say in who the next prime minister is going to be if Keir Starmer sails off into the sunset for a quick wank.
It'd be like when they put Brown in and no one wanted him. But you say that about Burnham. It says here he's relatively popular. I mean, this is with the general public and Labour voters. Oh, so yeah, general public. He is a tiny, tiny little
Yeah, +2,
plus
which
two.
at the moment is phenomenal. That means I don't know how many people they surveyed, but that might be as many as half a person has said they
Yeah.
lukewarm like him.
But whereas he's doing very well amongst Labour voters and clearly ahead there, Streeting is not liked by either. Miliband, it's bizarre that Labour voters still want him. It's absolutely insane. Yeah, I'm just looking at its little graph.
Yeah,
And by the way,
he is.
Paul, I clicked on this just so it would show the results here of the Telegraph readers. Now, Telegraph readers, perhaps not the target demographic. I picked other because they're all rubbish. But amongst Telegraph readers, Wes Streeting 33%, clear winner. Then
Yeah.
Mahmood,
But
then
are there also
Burnham.
another third? So other, wherever he
Yes.
or she may be, is as popular as Wed Streeting. Wed Streeting is. I've got this theory, right? Before some of them's come from mind, I have sat next to of the last 5 prime ministers. Last 5, I have sat next to 2 of them on public transport, one next to a urinal before they came to power. And the last politician I sat next to on a train was Wes Streeting. Previous to that was David Cameron and Boris Johnson. And I've just got this feeling that Wes, as soon as I saw him on the train that day and we sat in the same carriage,
You're spending a lot of time in first class, is what I'm hearing.
what he was, what I did is this is the trick that I've got. When it's incredibly busy on the Waterloo to Portsmouth line, incredibly busy, and everyone's crammed and stand up, I go into first class, I sit down like I should be in there, and then I get out at Guildford and back into cattle class when it calms down. I've done it for years. It works. You've got to find me, SWR. You've got to find me before you can find me.
It's
But
a good
that's my
tactic now because if it kicks off and there's some bloke with a knife, you probably want to be near to Cameron because he's probably got the security. Suddenly, the 3 blokes you didn't know were security jump up, dive on the guy.
so true story. Lady in front of me leant across to Wes Streeting and said, "Thanks for all the work you've done." And him and his team nodded along gratefully. And I said, "I'd like to thank you as well because I'm a comedian that works with GB News, and you have kept me in work." That got a small to medium chuckle, and I believe that at this moment in time, West Streeting has a good chance. We might even get a government that look to do something better with the environment. With the environment, who gives a shit about the environment? I mean, I know you're not supposed to say that, but with the economy, I do care about the environment, but not to the extent that the sort of drugs that Ed Miliband takes. But West Streeting might try and do something with the economy, but at the end of the day, this Keir Starmer has absolutely smashed the Labour Party to bits. They were in opposition for 14 years. They watched what went wrong, and they still weren't prepared. Not only weren't they prepared, they've proved themselves to be ridiculously inept, scandalously inept.
Well, yes, it never really got going. He couldn't control the left of his party. Whoever gets in now won't be able to control it. The whole thing is done. I'm literally checking Starmer just to check if anything else has happened. West Streeting attacks juvenile number 10 briefings is the latest thing. So this is going to be a briefing war. There's going to be a leadership challenge, and then Streeting's going to knife him. But if it's like a Tory challenge, someone else could come through. Mahmood, we could suddenly have a Muslim
Knife
prime minister.
him,
That would be.
but not in a multicultural way, in a political, metaphorical way, I assume.
Exactly, yeah, that's what I meant. But with then imagine we got Mahmood, like we suddenly had a Muslim female leader by the back, because Labour always like in trouble for having only men. Imagine they just did it. I don't know. It's
Well,
beyond.
this is why, actually, this is the point I forgot to make. That's why I can see them going for Angela Rayner. I can see them.
Her reputation's bad though now, isn't it? So it's a long way back. She will come back, but it's a long way.
Depends who. Look, she's still very popular in the Labour Party. So it'll be interesting to see. It'll be very.
I'm not sure what problem West Streeting solves. I mean, he's basically the same as Starmer. They're not. He's not even. I suppose at least Burnham and Rayner, they throw some red meat to the left of the party. Streeting is pointless. It's the same person, just a little bit younger,
They'll have to move
even
his
more smug.
constituency because he's definitely going to lose his constituency seat of Romford. One of the Romford. I don't know if there's more than one Romford seat, but it's Romford or Romford South or something like that.
Let's see. Let's crack on because I mean, who knows? It's Labour Party's done.